Bro, failure becomes dangerous when you stop seeing it as something that happened and start using it as proof of who you are. You start thinking, maybe I'm not capable. Maybe I chose the wrong path. Maybe I wasted years of my life. But here is a tiny mental shift that completely changed how I see failure. Stop asking, what does this failure prove about me? And start asking, what was this failure preparing me for? I tried to become successful in sales and I failed to become the closer I thought I would be. Then I tried UGC and I failed to turn that into the future I imagined. At the time, it felt like I was stacking failure on top of failure, bro. Sales taught me how to communicate, understand people, and move someone emotionally. UGC taught me how to script, create hooks, tell stories, and confidently speak on camera. Neither one became my final destination, but both gave me skills that I now use to do work I actually want to do. I didn't fail my way away from my purpose. I learned my way into it. And today I want to show you how to recognize when failure is telling you to change your strategy and when it is trying to redirect your life. First thing we're going to go into in today's video is when failure becomes your identity. You see, failure hurts the most when you turn an unsuccessful outcome into a verdict about yourself. Look, bro, we all mess up. We all get it wrong. But that doesn't mean that you're a failure or you're a mistake. Like, just take it for what it is. Get the lesson, fail fast. Because once you're able to see what it's trying to teach you, only then you can utilize it and change the meaning of that situation. It's just an experience. You decide the meaning. You decide what it means about you, about your business, about your dream. You decide it all. When you realize that, you know how powerful that is? You create it, bro. You create the meaning of everything that goes on in your life. And again, when you have an unsuccessful outcome and you make that a verdict about yourself, you stop saying the path didn't work and you start saying, I don't work. You start blaming yourself. A failed attempt is information, bro. It's not your identity. And the truth is, persistence doesn't mean remaining loyal to every vehicle you choose. You can change the vehicle without abandoning the greater vision. You can course correct if you see something isn't working. You don't have to keep banging your head against the wall and trying to make the peg fit in the square hole. And if you feel like quitting, bro, you can never make that decision while completely burnt out. Rest first so exhaustion doesn't make the right dream feel wrong. So ask yourself, how do I know whether I need a better strategy or a completely different direction? You know the answers, bro. Ask yourself, see what comes through. Now, I want to share with you what happened when I tried to be a closer in sales and when I tried to do UGC. At the time, I really felt like this was something I wanted to go into. And I really did try to build a future as a successful sales closer. And when I saw that it failed, and when I failed to make it work, I initially saw it as another loss. I thought, damn, how many things am I going to have to try till I get it right? But it was too much. Sometimes you get what you want and you realize you don't even want that or you don't want it anymore. And I had the credentials. I had everything. I could close. But what they were asking me to do was just ridiculous. Like, there were people that were living in tents in their car. And the company that I was working for was asking me to pitch them an 8K program. Like, how is that ethical or an integrity at all? I couldn't do it. I had to leave. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Or the sales manager asked me to ask for the sales 6 times. It's just crazy. And that wasn't for me. I couldn't fuck over somebody knowingly and let them starve. And while I get money, while I get rich, while this company gets rich, there's just no way in hell. But I will say this, sales taught me how to listen, communicate, understand pain, and confidently express an idea. So there were good things. And I saw how much I could push myself. I did like 12 calls in one day. And I learned in my own way, I learned how I wanted to sell. What was the right sales method for me? And it didn't have to include ripping somebody off or using grimy sales tactics to get people to buy. There's a better way. And I found that for me. But you can do sales in an ethical way. But the way this company was trying to do it just wasn't for me. And then I tried to do UGC. And I believe that might be my future. I'm like, I can create content. Yeah, give me a script. I'll freaking do it. Right? Give me a product. I'll give you the best video. And truth is, I was sold on how fast that would grow, the UGC business. And it took a lot longer. And the podcast that I listened to or the course that I went through told me. And that's the thing with anything is there's no quick fix. You got to take your time with it. You got to invest the energy, the time and money and effort it's going to be energy to build. So it didn't go as planned. And again, here I am thinking, why can't I get something to fucking work? I tried sales. I tried UGC. So I was beating myself up and I was disappointed in myself. I felt like a failure. I felt like, wow, what's wrong with me? Why can't I get this shit right? Because I saw other people that were super successful in both of these. And I didn't understand why it worked for them, but not for me. It didn't become the path that I imagined, or I didn't get nearly close to the potential I thought I would with it. But UGC still taught me camera presence, scripting, storytelling, hooks, content creation, and brand communication. Those experiences equipped me, bro, to genuinely do what I wanted to do, create motivational content that helps struggling entrepreneurs keep believing in themselves and not give up on themselves. I didn't get the destination I expected, but I collected the tools to get to my real destination. Close this part with this. I didn't fail my way away from my purpose. I learned my way into it. All these failures and trials and tribulations, they equipped me to be better at my real purpose, which is what I'm doing right now. It all helped me level up in one way or another. The next thing I wanted to share with you is the story of when I wanted to move out of so bad and I was this close. I found the apartment. I found the area. I was ready. It was beautiful. And I got rejected by the apartment complex. I desperately wanted to move out of my parents' house, bro. I felt like a caged animal. At one point, it felt like I could never leave. Like, how am I going to do it? I couldn't figure out the how. And I was focusing on the wrong things, bro. But back to the story, I found an apartment I loved. I was rejected because I didn't make 3 times the rent. And in the area that I was applying for, that's what they required. At the time, it felt like another door closing when I needed my life to change. I wanted more independence, more freedom. I couldn't keep living at my parents anymore. I felt so restricted. I was thinking, why me? Why did this shit have to happen? And 2 months later, bro, I ended up moving to Sedona, Arizona. If I would have got that apartment and signed that fucking lease, I may not have been free to make that move. I would have been locked in. The rejection didn't destroy my future. It preserved my ability to enter it. Sometimes the things that we think are bad are actually good, and we just can't comprehend why in the moment. But you always connect the dots in retrospect. It might not make sense to you right now why you're not where you want to be, or if you feel behind, or you feel like you're always falling short. You're becoming who you're meant to become, bro. Yeah, it's fucking painful. Yeah, there's a lot of struggles. Yeah, there's a lot of frustration, a lot of delays, but you're not going to get something if you're not ready for it. So might as well put in the work to become ready, because you will get it. If you keep striving, if you don't let go of your dream, of that business you want to build, that vision, you're going to get it. But you can't let these moments of not getting what you think you want or what you think you need to be the reason why you sign yourself off. It's a gift. It's a blessing in disguise. Telling you, sometimes closed doors are protecting a direction you can't see yet. Didn't realize this till later. That rejection didn't delay my life. It kept me available for the life that was coming. Now I'm going to share with you a little test so you can see if you're being redirected or what's going on in your life right now. Okay. I want you to ask yourself these 3 questions. This is called the failed redirection test. After resting and removing the emotion, do I still want the daily work, or do I only want what succeeding would prove about me? In other words, are you trying to prove something to yourself? Are you trying to find your value through work? Because you should know that you're valuable without it. You don't have to kill yourself with countless hours of putting in work to extract value from yourself. You're already valuable, bro. It's a never-ending cycle if you keep trying to find your worth, your value through the work. I'm not saying to have a bad work ethic, but I'm saying, are you doing it for the right reasons? Because you genuinely enjoy it, because you love it, not because you're trying to prove that you're not a piece of shit and that you're not a failure. The second question, what skills did this experience give me that I can carry into my next chapter? Whatever you're going through right now, just write down 5 to 10 things. There's something good that came out of what you've gone through. I needed to look for that good. I needed to look for the reasons that you went through it. And question number 3, what did this failure reveal about what I no longer want and what direction feels more honest? Find the truth. What did it teach you? Where is it trying to push you towards? That's what matters. And that's what your spirit is trying to show you. So if you still love the work, change the strategy. If you only love the money, validation, the title, or identity that came with succeeding, failure may be inviting you to change the vehicle. Napoleon Hill says failure has a dumb language, but there's always a message. Either way, don't waste none of the failures, bro. Fail fast. Use them. Failure is the way to getting to where you want to be. Everything you're going through isn't for nothing. It's not wasted. Now I'm going to push you even further. This is a failure to purpose audit. Choose one failure you still carry as evidence that you are not enough. Now write this down. The skill this failure gave me was, or was it? Truth this failure revealed was. The direction this failure may be pointing me toward is. The next step I will take within 24 hours is to go through all these, and you have the next step. Go out and do it, bro. Complete that next step. Purpose becomes unstoppable when failure can no longer convince you that your story is over. Brother, sister, those years were not wasted. They may have been the apprenticeship for the work you were actually meant to do. Remember, you're allowed to change the vehicle without abandoning the vision. There's many ways to get to where you want to go. Sometimes you have to get a new vehicle. Maybe the current path isn't working. Maybe the opportunity you thought was the way fell apart. But none of that means there's something wrong with you. Take the skill, take the lesson, take the person you became through the experience. Then follow the direction your failure is revealing. And if failure has made you question what's possible for your life, I created a free audio training called Limitless for you. Inside, I'll help you break through the self-imposed limitations keeping you stuck, expand your vision, and step into the version of yourself capable of building the business, life, and future you truly want. Download Limitless free through the first link in the description down below. Subscribe and walk this journey with me. I would love to have you here, bro. We're going to keep finding meaning in the struggle so we don't give up on ourselves, our dreams, or the person we're becoming.